level. So that was one of the parameters also to make this decision, together with the fact that the track was becoming very slippery. Due to that fact, horses needed to compensate a lot and had to use much more energy than they usually should use to make such, which led to tired horses like Toulouse.
Okay, question here, then there, and then the gentleman in the white will come to you.
So Kim Lundin from Ride News Sweden, a veterinary question, and the second one on Van Klapp.
Because there are other people who...
I know you can give us the stats of each horse, but how many went into treatment in the veterinary clinic?
53 horses went into treatment in veterinary clinic. 52 of those were metabolics. 32 of those needed fluid, intravenous fluids, 20 to 40 liters to recover. Some of these horses also had myopathy, which could have shown as lameness for any spectator, but when you check the blood values, you see that it's actually also a metabolic problem, or even more a metabolic problem. There were two mild colics that recovered quite quickly, and then we had a horse with kidney problems, and actually one that came back the following day with kidney problems.
And I can say,
Pamela Young, International Alliance of Equestrian Journalists. I have two questions. One was...
Can you limit it to just one of them? Because there's an awful lot of people who would like to ask questions.
They're both related.
Okay.
How, where, and how many horses were misdirected? How did that happen? And the second part of the question is, how many people were given incorrect behavior cards or warnings after the event?
So the first, to answer your first question, this is exactly what we are now investigating, what the confusion is, and that's why we have asked the Equestrian Integrity Unit to do this investigation, and they are currently do that. You cannot be at all places during such an event. Personally, I wasn't at the starting gate. I think I saw only around 40 horses starting, so there were 80 maybe on another part. So we are now interviewing all the relevant people, officials, stewards, athletes, teams, to understand what their version is of the facts in order to have a full understanding of where the confusion came from. So that is in process. With regarding to sanctions, there haven't been any yet, but also there we need to understand it needs to be done in a fair way, because there were some incidents left and right. We are assessing this, and if there needs to be further follow-up, then we will do that. But we also need to respect the rights of the defense, as you know, and to hear the people concerned and allow them also to give them version before we can finalize the process. Thank you.
The gentleman from with the...
Thank you. My name is Tarek Tahir. I'm a rider for Saudi Arabia. I was in the ride. I'm not here to point fingers. We're all human, we make mistakes. We talk about horse welfare, but we also need to talk about human welfare. So the FEI is human, and you are people. We're not here. There are mistakes that were made, multiple mistakes that were wrong from the beginning. So I think what I want to say is we need to learn from our mistakes and we need to move forward. I want to speak for myself as a rider. We need to meet riders, safety keeps, and FEI, and learn from what happened in this race and create a vision and outline what we need to do in the future, jointly together, put our hands together. We can't fight with each other. We need to work together.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I need to just say one more thing. Please, there is a question. Yes. I wrote down in the beginning of the loop. I was there, I followed the orange loop, which is going right. I was directed left by a certain person. I didn't listen to him because at least I have enough experience of 22 years to follow the orange loop, not somebody telling me turn left. I don't know why this person was saying turn left. He didn't look like an FEI steward, he didn't wear the blue, I didn't listen to him. And so did a few people in front of me, the Chinese group and so on. What I'm asking is, why don't we try to identify this guy? I have a good kind of a visual of what he looks like, and maybe you can interview also the Chinese and so on and so forth. And I don't know. Okay, thank you.
No, thank you very
Thank you
much.
for your
That's
question.
fine.
No, thank you very much. Ingmar, if you
Yeah, thank you for your question. So first of all, I fully agree with you that we need always to find solutions in consultation with our athletes, our national federations, our chef d'équipes, our technicians, our officials. And this is, you might maybe know, but we have already organized quite some conferences to have this communication and to work together. So you have my full support for that statement. With regarding to identifying the persons that have made mistakes, this is exactly what we are doing now. We are assessing, and also your chef de mission has received the contact details of the people of ECIU. So please, if you want to contribute to that process, I would like to invite you to come to the FEI tent, and we will direct you to the people of ECIU. As well, the Chinese delegation also received this opportunity, so please use this opportunity, because for us it's important to get a so big possible picture of what happened in order to assess the situation, and as you correctly say, to find systems or solutions to avoid this in the future, because that's what we have to do as an FEI for our athletes.
Thank you.
Okay.
No,
I wish your wife all the best.
right. No,
Take care of your wife. That's human.
Just and then we'll come to. I am aware, ladies and gentlemen, there are other disciplines competing at the moment, and you may want to be interested in those. But let's just go with the journalist there. Yeah.
Simone from Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, Germany. Is it possible to give us the name and the nationality of the horse that has been euthanized?
Not at this moment. We will release a statement shortly.
Thank you. Journalists in the stripes, please. Sorry, is there anybody at the back? Because I'm having a difficulty, gentlemen.
Hi, Polly Bryan, Horse and Hound magazine in the UK. Non-Olympic disciplines have often drawn the short straw at works before in substandard facilities and courses, although this is probably the worst. Do you think it's time to reintroduce standalone championships rather than the WEG concept? Has that gone out of date?
It's a very good question. Thank you for your question. We need, of course, and it's too early to say that, but these WEG are still running, and we need to make a very clear assessment of these games and to understand what will be the future of the games. So this is absolutely something that will be addressed by our board. Because we will need to decide what we will do for the future. But we have still candidates, or let's say interested, there is still interest of organizers to host these games. But I think that you are right, that we first as an FEI also need to look at the concept of the games, because with the success of our sport, it's growing. And the number of athletes are growing, and we need to see, maybe we need to make some adaptations to the format of the games. But we are, of course, and we did that also after the games in Caen, in Normandy. We made a full assessment, and at that time the conclusion was that everybody wanted to have World Equestrian Games, and that's what we did. We will again make this assessment, but you will understand that we want to consult a lot of people in that process before we take a decision. But I think there are several options, but it's too early to comment on that. And we also first need to fully assess these games here in WEG. try.
So I think one more question. So our journalist there from France, please.
Sébastien Boulier, Grand Prix magazine. Of course, the climate conditions were hard on Wednesday, but apparently it's not uncommon in this region. And I suppose, and I heard from riders and chef d'équipe that they were preparing to have these conditions. So why did you have to cancel the race at this point and not 2 days before and not in the morning when it was already going wrong?
First, before we even allocated the games, we made a climate study. We looked back 3 years, and that also was the basis for moving the games 2 weeks into September. And that's one thing. Following that, we have continued to monitor the climate during this period to see on rain, temperature, humidity, winds, risk of hurricanes, etc. All that has been taken into the equation. And if you look at the 5 last years of wet bulb global temperature, this year has been 10% higher, and that's a lot. 10% higher is a lot, higher than normal. So we continued to monitor this throughout the games. We had measurements, more than 50 measurements during the day of competition for endurance at Vetgate, but also out on the course. And we could see it looked good. It looked what we expected. It followed the prognosis. But then we have the heavy rainfall, and suddenly we were without the cloud cover. And without the cloud cover, in combination with the heavy rain, we had an extremely rapid development of the wet bulb global temperature from 26, 27 up to 31. And this, you could really feel it when you were standing there. It was really extremely humid. And this was something we also saw on the horses. If you have such conditions, there is no way that a horse can cool down. And the decision was partly taken on the basis of this changed and extreme conditions. I've been speaking to a lot of locals, and this is not normal for this area. It's warmer than your normal, and we also have that in combination with the humidity.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it then because with respect to the other disciplines that are going on today, if so, we are going to think it's appropriate to bring it to an end now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Thomas and also like to Göran. Thank you to Ingmar for your help, and thank you for all attending. Thank you very much. Thank you.